So Freelance Free Peoples is an Indigenous-led anti-colonial penal abolition group and part of the Saskatchewan-Manitoba-Alberta Abolition Coalition, or SMAC. So we do public education and prisoner solidarity work that's regionally based and grounded in Indigenous laws and the worldviews of our members. Defunding and dismantling the police, prisons, child and family services, immigration detention, and all other attendant carceral institutions is crucial to addressing colonial and racial oppression in the Prairie provinces and across so-called Canada. These institutions have been a central tactic used by the state to remove Indigenous peoples from our lands and communities, to disrupt our relational networks and responsibilities as sovereign peoples, and to undermine our nations. These institutions work to contain our kin, to maintain white repression of Indigenous resistance to colonization, to clear the land for white settlement and access to our lands and resources, and to strip us of our rights and sovereignty. The Prairie provinces see some of the highest incarceration rates in the country, with Saskatchewan and Manitoba having well over twice the national average of incarcerated people per capita, and with Indigenous people making up 3/4 of those incarcerated. The penal system continues the process of settler colonial genocide through the violences of incarceration, police brutality, active disregard for Indigenous health and well-being, and the removal of our people from the land. We have seen these processes intensified with the COVID-19 pandemic, but they have existed for over 150 years. Getting rid of these institutions and redirecting the infrastructural support and resources to the community-based and led systems that already exist, and to those that can and will exist in the future, for addressing conflict is as important as it's ever been, and it's more attainable than ever. Perhaps most importantly, it's this building of alternatives to the penal system and building alternatives that foreground Indigenous sovereignty and lifeways that's really essential to transforming the relationship between so-called Canada and Indigenous peoples. Our laws and justice traditions continue to exist and guide us in how to be good relations to our human and other than human kin, and to the lands, waters, and air. As Indigenous people, we can both imagine and remember the other ways of relating to one another as individuals and communities. Abolition is fundamental to repairing the violences of colonialism and racism, to addressing the intertwined and constitutive systems of anti-Blackness and anti-Indigenous racism, as well as ableism, cis-heterosupremacy, and poverty, among other systems. We can and are doing the work of imagining and building towards new worlds and new ways of relating. The movement to defund, dismantle, and build is huge and growing. The Declaration on Choosing Real Safety is one important document that can help guide and inform this work, and so I want to encourage everyone to commit or recommit to penal abolition, both for our own communities and in solidarity with all those impacted by carceral systems. Liberation is achievable, true justice is achievable, and new worlds are upon us.